Welcome to my latest experiment. This is the big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
What is it?
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Oh my God.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
And there is no one that does it better.
The Guy and Harley podcast, streaming all over your face.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Pigville on the internet. I don't know if it's sad or dumb, but the best nights I've had have blurred into one. They run the long gamut, tragic to fun, and now I'm not, but the night is still young. My name's Harley Neville. Welcome along to the Guy and Harley podcast.
I'm Guy Pigden. And who was that?
That was Joel Listics, who is a rapper from Australia whose name is Joel, so he decided his rap name should be Joel Listics. So yeah, Joel Listics. That's from his song In the Morning, and it's really good. It's all about getting old, and
Which we can relate to.
yeah, it's all about being in your 30s actually, and waking up, realizing that life has continued, and you're still kind of fucking around doing the same shit you've always been doing.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about this the other day when I was taking a lot of drunk people, escorting them around, and like, you're reminded, because like I drive like, I guess they're all like 18 or early 20s. Mm-hmm. And
in your career as an Uber driver.
In my career, my new career as Uber driver, I gave up filmmaking and became an Uber driver. I listen to them talk and I go, I remember that. Like, I just go, I remember those conversations. I remember feeling that way about life, you know, good about it, you know, like positive about the future, you know, like feeling like anything was possible. Like, I remember that feeling. I don't have it now, of course. That's long gone, but I remember it.
Yeah, I wish I was still deluded like you young idiots.
Kind of. Certainly.
It was nice to be that deluded.
Yeah, it was good.
To think there was still hope and good in the world.
Exactly.
And that I never knew what could become of me.
Yeah.
What the future might hold.
Yeah. Before you're exposed to all that pain. So I do think it's kind of interesting, but I also am like happy that I'm not that anymore either. And I also think that, like, I was like, well, why do people stop, like, you know, like drinking? And I was like, well, I guess if you, like, for me anyway, it's like, if you do something so many times and every possible outcome has happened from that thing, and you did love it, you did love this thing, but you've done it thousands and thousands of times, at a certain point you go, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, well, I think what part of the allure of drinking when you're younger, right, is this whole like, yeah, let's get shit-faced and just go out, is like, you never know what's going to happen. Everything's new still, you know, you're young and you might think you're a grown-up when you're 20 or 22 or 23 or whatever, but actually there's still so many experiences you haven't had, so when you do drink that half a bottle of vodka and go to town, it is quite possible that there's adventure out there to be had, you know, whereas, you know, after you've done that for X amount of years, after you've done that for 15 years,
for
from
actual,
18 to 33,
well, for a solid decade,
yeah,
for sure.
After you've done that for all of those years, you kind of go, oh no, I do know what's going to happen. I'm going to get shit-faced. I'm going to like hook up with some girl. She might be hot. She might not be.
She might be really ugly.
She could be very unattractive.
We don't know.
You know,
that's a variable.
I might get in a fight with somebody. I might not. Somebody might, you know, start a fight with me. You know, like I might meet some really cool guy and like we become like cool besties, or we might not. But whatever happens, it's all kind of already happened actually.
Yeah.
That was. I started getting kind of bored of that at like 25 or so. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, well, what else is going to possibly happen to me? I've had all the adventures that I can have that involve drinking a bottle of vodka and going to the clubs. Yeah, you know.
No, I totally felt the same way, and I was like, yeah, I'm over that now. And I not necessarily think it's related to age as much as related to repetition.
It's true. Like if you hadn't drank anything up until now and you'd never really discovered this thing, you might go, oh, this is fucking fun.
Whoa, yeah, this is crazy. You end up somewhere totally crazy. It's something, Also, you do know, like, I guess some of the, like, negatives become more pronounced as well. So obviously,
hangovers,
blowing $200,
blowjobs, giving blowjobs to people, waking up full of remorse
for $200. Okay, so I've lost all my money, so now I can't do any other fun thing this week because all my money went on that one thing. Also, I've written off my whole weekend because now I feel terrible and I don't want to do anything. So my productivity goes down to zero. But also, not only my productivity, but even my ability to enjoy life has gone down to zero on this day,
just
on Sunday.
Lying there miserable. Even worse if you've got to go to work.
Yeah, and so all of those things, you kind of go, well, if you really weigh those up, actually, a lot of the times it's not worth it.
But I think it's also about you evolve the way you enjoy drinking. Like I still like drinking. I'm literally drinking right now. A cheap beer that I suspect is actually out of date because it's got a weird malty taste to it, and it costs $2.50 at the...
Yeah, it doesn't taste that great.
It's not great. So if you guys want to sponsor the Guy and Harley podcast some booze, just jump on patreon.com, search Pigville, and you can start donating to us. Now, I think that as you get a little bit older, you start to... Well, I've certainly changed the way I drink. I don't drink as much, but I probably drink more regularly. It used to be that I would drink a lot more during the weekend. You'd drink 12 standard drinks on the weekend on a Saturday night or whatever, but then nothing throughout the week. Now it's more like I still drink 12 standard drinks probably, but it's spread out over the whole week. Well, maybe not 12, but
Probably 12.
Maybe 12.
For me, it's a bit... So for me, I don't really drink that much. And I
Apart from when I bring around old beers.
Old beers that taste slightly vinegary. But...
Not great.
But I do still sometimes have the occasional blowout where I'm like, I've earned it. Fuck it, why not? But even those are kind of rare. And then sometimes about like halfway through, like my plan is to do that.
And then you're like, fuck this.
Yeah, and then like sort of halfway through, I'm like, yeah, actually, I'm going to renege on this and go home.
Yeah.
Or just stop drinking, more
Well,
likely.
I very rarely drink past midnight now. If there's a party, even if there's a party or whatever, it's kind of like, midnight rolls around and I'm like, time to go home.
But this, it could all change. Like, as a single person, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
So, that's also a factor.
Well,
the girlfriend factor.
Yeah.
Is always a big factor in drinking. Because
the girlfriend dampener.
Yeah.
Dampens your social drinking.
If you think about it, like, there is a what is the point situation to the whole thing. Because, so you're like...
Part of
socializing. I'm going to be lying next to this other person. I could be hungover.
Yeah.
I probably can't get it up. Because
and if I can get it up, I can't come.
And it's like that's over for me. Yeah. And then what? What are we gonna do tomorrow? I might be grumpy. She might be grumpy. We both might be grumpy because we've done it. Drinking, that is, not having sex, because you fell fast asleep. And so I just think that really, there is no reason. No reason, but there's close to no reason when you factor in the girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, this weekend we are recording now at 4 p.m. ish on a Sunday, and it is 48-hour weekend. That is the 48-hour film festival competition, which is where teams. It's an annual competition where teams have 48 hours to write, shoot, and edit a 6-minute film.
It's this amazing experience where the entirety of New Zealand comes together to make a series of very shitty films.
Well, yeah, often that is the case. There are many, many poopers with a few gems here and there.
And even those gems are kind of shitty by comparison.
By comparison to a film that you spent
Yeah,
a
X
month,
amount of time on,
or as opposed to 48 hours on, or several months on.
It's where New Zealand comes together to defy filmmaking logic for one weekend and completely throw out one of the key things to making a film good, which is time.
Which is time. But that being said, there is some pretty good motivation for being involved.
Oh, yeah.
One is that I think this year they had the biggest prize pool they've ever had. It was like more than $100,000 worth of prizes. I'm pretty sure I heard
not bad.
somewhere. So that's not bad. And then on top of that, it's a canned audience. It's there waiting for you. Like normally you shoot a short film and you have no chance of it playing in a cinema. And, probably if anyone's going to see it, it's going to be on YouTube. Whereas a 48-hour film, they all screen, as long as you get it done, they all screen in a cinema in front of quite a big audience. And if you make it into the finals, well, they screen again with an even bigger audience, And so you do have that audience and those prizes. And so there is sort of merit to entering. And then on top of that, I guess it's also just good for kind of honing your skills and your abilities to really, if you've got 48 hours to do something, you'll figure out a way to do it and you'll get it done. So, there are benefits to it. But yeah, I mean, I'm certainly in your camp that it's like you're better to take all that time, effort and money and put it into something that you're going to be really stoked with at the end. Because even the best 48-hour films, right, for me, I always feel a bit like, it's still kind of just a cookie cutter film. It's not really a film because it's got to have this character. Because the way they stop you from cheating is they have, on the Friday night at the beginning of the 48-hour weekend, they give you a character name that has to be in it, a prop that has to be in it, and they give you your genre and maybe some other shit too. So you've got the genre that you've got to work with, this character name and this prop, and that proves that you filmed it that weekend and hadn't been working on it for 6 weeks prior.
So not only are they like, hey, you got to do a film in 48 hours, you got to have a bunch of stupid shit that we want in it.
Well, yeah, and so what that means, though, is... what does it mean? Yeah, I lost my train of thought there.
Well, it means you got to get very creative.
Yeah. Oh, no, but what it means, is just that it's kind of like all of the films, when you sit down and watch a few of them, even the good ones, you start going, oh, there's the prop. Oh, there's the character. Oh, and you start, I don't know, they just don't feel like real films to me when I watch them.
Oh, I totally agree. I guess what I just think is weird about it is that, and I still don't really get my head around it. Because also, because this is the most popular short film activity in New Zealand, this is the big event. People that don't make films will make a 48-hour film. People that do make films will make it. Everyone makes a 48-hour film, right? So everyone's doing this. So your actual chances of winning, because also it's not totally about skill either. It is to a degree the luck of the draw. What genre do you get? Because if you get musical, even though
they've banned it this year.
Oh, they have.
Yeah, they got rid of it.
Yeah, because it's fucking nonsense.
Well, no, I think they should have kept it, and that's just part of the risk. And also there has been winners that were musicals, and there has been lots of quite good musical ones. But yeah, I mean, if you're not a musical person and you get musical as the genre, you're fucked. Because who's going to produce your beat or your song and write your lyrics? And
but also, I presume action is one, right?
Yeah.
So you got action, and you go, I guess so. Cool. Well, we don't really have
a budget,
money, time, or resources.
Yeah, but
we've got to make an action movie.
Oh, but that's bullshit. Action doesn't have to be explosions. It can be jumping over a picket fence and doing a commando role. It's still action.
I do feel that the people that get either comedy, drama, or horror genre have the most advantage.
Yeah, probably.
Because all of those things play to what you can do in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I just find is fascinating is that all these actually really good, talented people do this. And I really still don't understand is that you have a meeting with that same team and you go, guys, we could do the 48-hour film festival, but how about this? We don't, right? And we actually plan a film together. We really think about it. We give it a month. We write a fucking awesome script. And we still shoot it over 2 days. Maybe we'll add in one more, So we'll shoot it over 3 days. So you guys it'll all be the same amount of time. We'll use all our same gear and resources. And we'll just make the fucking best short film that we can.
And the post-production will be done in as long as it takes to make it awesome.
And then, we may just have a really good short film that can go anywhere and do anything. And stuff. all give us a huge boost to our careers. Why don't we all do that? I really don't understand why no one kind of has that meeting pre-48.
As testament to that concept as well, like you look at No Caller I.D, our short film. Now we can announce officially one of the festivals that it's in. And that is, can we announce both festivals?
Yeah, I think we can.
Well, I haven't announced that on Facebook yet, but I will. So we can announce that our short film, which was shot in one night, very similar to a 48-hour film.
Totally.
It was just like one Saturday night or something, until very early in the morning, a night shoot. And it was shot for not that much money, something around $100.
$200 probably.
Something like that. So something very similar to what you would spend on a 48-hour film.
Yep.
Shot in the sort of same time frame. Now
written in the space of like another night. So probably exactly like if you imagine a 48-hour film, you write it one night, you shoot it the next night, and then you cut.
Now
right?
the post-production in that did take far longer.
So I took much longer with the edit.
But that's going to happen. But
sound design, music.
The point is, though, that that No Caller ID short film has now been accepted into Show Me Shorts. It's having its world premiere at the Show Me Shorts International Film Festival.
Academy accredited here in Auckland. So what we're saying is this short could win an Oscar.
It could.
I mean,
theoretically, it could.
In theory, by being in this festival, it has that potential.
Yeah.
It won't, but it has that potential.
The door is open a crack. Now, so you know, same amount of money, similar level of effort, far less stress because you don't have a deadline, and now it's having a world premiere at this festival, and then but on top of that, even more exciting, our same short film is going to Los Angeles for Scream Fest, which is the same festival that our feature film I Survived a Zombie Holocaust screened in 2 years ago, and that's a well respected and cool horror film festival. And it looks great to have that next to our name on that short film. And I'm going over for it next month as well. I've bought my tickets, all official. I'm going to LA for 11 nights next month to support No Caller ID.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, we will. We better finish this 48-hour stuff before we get into that.
Okay.
And so there's sort of testament to what you're saying is that you can take that same amount of effort and money and have a film which is going to LA and going to other, it's been submitted to various other festivals, or you can have it, the 48-hour film. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm kind of in camp, take your time, and because chances are you're going to spend all that time, effort, and money, and probably not win. But if you do win, then obviously it is worth it because there's that looks great as well next to your name. Winner of the 48-hour film festival, or even like finalist in the film festival, that type of thing, still looks great. But so anyway, I did. After just bagging the entire festival for the last 10 minutes, I was in it. I was in a great team. I was attached to the Sideways Productions team. That's Ben Fowler and Ellen George, and they I'm really stoked to be sort of affiliated with them because they're up and comers, those guys, and they've done it for 7 years in a row, and so they're a well-oiled machine. And it's just 2 years in a row of all the time. I've done the 48-hour probably 5 times or so, and 2 of them have been with them, and it's just such a smooth ride. It's just they make it so easy. Everything's organized, planned, just smooth and to a high caliber as well, like good quality. And so I was the lead in their film, which was awesome. Last year I was a supporting character. This year I was a lead character. I've graduated. Yeah, I've graduated up. I'm pretty stoked for that opportunity. And I tell you what, they've kind of revitalized my inspiration to be involved with no budget films.
Right.
I was thinking, like, there's 2 types of no budget filmmakers out there, right? And one of them is they've got no budget because they're shooting shit all the time, and if they waited around for funding, they'd never get anything done. That's where you and I fit in, I think. I think that's where these Sideways production guys fit in. They're productive, and you just can't wait for funding all the time. So that's why they've got no budget. It's not because they're bad. And then there's the other type of no budget filmmaking, which is they're just kind of shit, and they don't know what they're doing, and nobody wants to give them money, or they can't apply. They don't know how to apply.
They don't know how to apply.
Yeah. which is in itself a fucking course. And so and I think I got burnt too many times with these shit ones, these ones where you show up on set and, you're already there working for free, right? But that's okay. That's all right. It's an opportunity, you say. And then
to yourself,
and you realize that they don't know what they're doing, and because they're flapping around, it takes so much longer. It can be the difference between an 8-hour day and a 14-hour day, which is a big difference, by hour 12,
For sure.
And so I feel like I really went off the sort of the no budget filmmaking for a while there, because I was just so sick of like wasting my time. And you're standing around on set and you're like, look, what are you even doing over there? Stop worrying about that and concentrate on what we're actually trying to do. They're just wasting time. But you can't be like marching around telling people what to do on their own set.
Unfortunately.
And but yeah, what with the Sideways guys, it was awesome because it was like, filmmaking is an inherently slow thing. I was on set for like 11 and a half hours or something like that. It's an inherently slow process. It is a slow process. Because there's so many factors you're trying to get to work together. It's the set, the soundy, the camera, the actors, all of that stuff. But the great thing about these guys was that even though it was slowly happening, it was always productive. It was always progressing. There was never times when you were sitting there going like, all right guys, stop fucking around over there. You're like, okay, he's over there, he's actually doing something important. And that was just awesome. So it was great to work with those guys again. And it will be screening next Saturday at the 48 Hour Film Festival. I assume I can say the name, right? People can keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, especially at the rate that I release these podcasts.
Right, well that's true, yeah. So it's called Boyfriend Material.
Right.
So yeah, and I had my 6th on-screen kiss.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
nothing like getting with another girl who's not your girlfriend, but you got a girlfriend, but it's okay because it's on screen and it's totally above board.
Free pass. So I told Angie about that this morning.
Yeah.
This afternoon when she got home from work. I was like, now I've got a confession. Yesterday I had an on-screen kiss.
Yeah.
She's pretty good about it. To be fair, I've had like 6 or so on-screen kisses in my career, and 4 of them have been since I've been with her.
Yeah.
So she's pretty good about it.
Did you go for the tongue on that one?
Well, look, I'm a professional guy. I couldn't possibly, talk about such
Love the
things.
old tongue in there.
I couldn't possibly discuss such, you just have to watch the film, I guess,
See a little Harley's tongue poking out. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Well, the thing about screen kisses, right? I mean, I was quite nervous beforehand because it's like, how do you... I mean, it's nervous.
Well, how do you not make it look gross?
Yeah.
That's a real art.
How do you not make it look gross and get a little bit of tongue in there? How do you pull that off? No. Like, no. I'm kidding. And so, no. Like,
how do you make it not look gross, but be really gross?
But be real lecherous. No. And so, no. But the thing is, I was real nervous. Quite nervous beforehand because you're nervous the first time you kiss a new person under normal circumstances, right? So now imagine doing it like in front of the whole crew who's all watching. All right, action, now kiss, but don't do anything weird or creepy.
Because also that's the other thing is like sometimes you do see an on-screen kiss and you go ugh, or
I had
when
an
you're
awkward
on
one.
When you're on set, same thing, and someone kisses and you go, God, what the fuck was that?
Is that how you kiss?
Is that like it looks like some face hugger, like trying to put your eggs down her throat?
Well, I certainly hope that this kiss doesn't come across like that. I mean, I haven't seen it, so it might, for all I know. Yeah. But so, I mean, it's nerve-wracking under normal circumstances to kiss somebody new, and so now you're doing it, and you start double sort of questioning yourself. You're like double guessing yourself. You're like, is that the word? Double guessing? What's the word?
Second guessing
yourself. And you're like, like where do I put my hands? Like, I don't want to. Do you do the tongue? Do you not do the tongue? You want it to look natural, but like you don't want to overstep the mark and go into like weird, creepy, lecherous sort of grounds. What do you do? But you also want it to be like as natural as possible. Like this is your girlfriend that you're supposed to be kissing, right? Yeah. Or it's supposed to be very passionate.
And none of those thoughts would cross your mind if it was your girlfriend.
If it was your girlfriend. But yeah, but it seemed to go well, as far as I was aware.
No complaints.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
I think those guys are good. They're good guys. They do good work. I liked the last 48-hour film that you were in.
Yeah, well, it was
with
actually
them.
the same girlfriend. Same. Last time she was my girlfriend in last year's one.
Yeah.
Same crew, the same cast this year.
Yeah, and the last one was good. So look forward to that. Hopefully they can beat the 48-hour curse.
Yeah.
Of a shitty film.
They just texted me as well and said that it looks good and that they've locked off the edit, and I assume it'll go in on time and be ready to rock.
Well, that's the other thing. The risk of the 48-hour film is that you do, like, you stay up for 48 hours, you do all that work, you kind of pull all your resources, you beg, borrow, and steal, and you go, hey, you know that amazing bar that is all like glass, and can we shut that down for 2 hours and go in there and shoot something? And they go, oh well, I guess, but this is the only time you could ever do that. We'll never let you do it again. You go, yeah, sweet, I need it for this.
I'll call in that favor
right now. Let's do this. And you use up all your favors, you spend all this money, you get the gear, you shoot it, and it does come together and it's all looking all right. And then you don't get it in on time.
There's some delay, and you're 20 seconds late, and you don't.
And that's it.
You've got to be there by whatever time it is, 7 p.m. or whatever. And
so now you've done all that, and this shitty-ish film exists, and doesn't even have the potential to get you all the good stuff that the 48 hours
Of course, you can
promises.
still upload it to other places. And
You
do
can,
other
you can.
things with it. But, no one's going to be like, wow, check out this cool film that I want to check out. They're going to go, oh, it's a 48-hour film. I'm probably not going to watch that.
Also, they're also kind of everyone deflates after the 48 hours. Like, everyone's all G'd up and they're like, yeah, let's do it, 48 hours, let's get it. And then you go, oh, hey, guess what? We didn't actually quite finish on time. But guess what, guys? It's looking really good. So can we, finish it properly and then release it? And everyone goes, nah.
Well, to be fair,
not really feeling that.
Paula Edzer, who, by the way, now she directed the film Internationum, and she messaged me the other day saying that it sounded like you needed a hug from the previous episode.
It's probably true.
I can't remember what she called you, but it was something like, Mr. Droopy Pants or something, something along those lines.
It was probably accurate.
It sounds like he needs a hug. And then also Nika, another listener, she said, did Guy get someone to take him to the movies in the end? Because I've got a 2-for-1 voucher.
Look, if any beautiful women want to give me a hug or take me to the movies, I will happily accept.
There you go, Nika and Paulette. You're both in. He's going to hug Paulette and then go to the movies with Nika.
Yeah. I can't really remember why I was sounding so depressed last time. I guess it was probably
can't remember. It was
probably complaining about the too much work.
Yeah, I think you're just
balance.
Generally complaining about being broke and all of that.
I did
stuff,
crash my car. I think that was just crashed my car. I thought I'd...
Yeah.
Well, that's why I think I was talking about the killing joke. All it takes is one bad day.
One bad day, yeah. Yeah. Now that kissing thing as well is a double-edged sword, listeners. So if any of you guys out there are thinking about getting into acting so that you can pash up attractive strangers,
think again.
Think again, because on the one hand, there was Harley Neville pashing up an attractive stranger, but on the other hand, there was an attractive stranger pashing up Harley Neville. It's a double-edged sword. She had to
kiss you.
Settle for me, yeah.
So, she had to go way below her standards. And trust me, ladies, this is going to happen a lot in your acting career.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't
go the other way.
It's totally a patriarchy. It's a sexist system.
Totally sexist.
It's like,
so sexist.
Unattractive men hooking up with attractive women. That's the norm on screen.
That is the standard.
That is just the norm.
And you go, yeah, ugly guy. Yeah, you would get with this ugly guy in this faux film universe. That's totally believable. But you would get with someone way out of your league? Pfft, no way, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. See you later.
Yeah.
See you later. You're the fat best friend now.
Yeah.
So it's very sexist, very much skewed to benefit guys,
Booyah.
So sorry about that, ladies. That is just
We're working on it. We are
working
the
on
Rochdale test or whatever it is. What is it? What do you call that test?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
The test where you can, whether or not the women are being
shit,
represented fairly on screen.
I forgot what that test is called.
Rostel, or Rothdell, or Rochdell, or
well, there's the Roche. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's, yeah, okay. Well,
But anyway, we're trying to pass
working
the
on
test.
it, guys.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
working on it.
The next film fully passes the test.
Yeah.
Although you could argue that average-looking guy gets with two beautiful women.
Does older pass the test?
Yeah, it passes the test.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know if it does.
Well,
So it's about two women competing for a man.
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of. You know?
That's true. Well, is it? Does it?
Well, no, they're not really. They're not
really
they're kind of
competing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it passes.
Right. Well. Anyway, L.A.
Yeah. So this is quite a big announcement.
Yeah.
That you flubbed over while you were talking about the 48-hour film festival.
Yeah.
Is that so? Our film got into the LA Screen Fest, which is this cool LA film festival.
It's on Hollywood Boulevard, and it screens at the Chinese Theatre, the famous Chinese theatre.
You know, with all the handprints outside it.
Yeah, where all the stars have their handprints and names and stuff carved into the concrete.
Overweight, like costume Spider-Man people,
fat Batman and boner Spider-Man,
all congregate trying to make you pay for photos with them.
You have a photo with like overweight Spider-Man, and it costs you like $2 or something.
Overweight Spider-Man whose costume needs desperately to be dry cleaned 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Will take his photo for you for the very reasonable fee of like $2.
Well, he'll take as much or as little as he can get, though. You know, like he'll be like, "Oh yeah, $10," and then you'll be like, "I've got $1," and then he'll be like, "All right, let's do it.
Hurry up, just take the photo."
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that'll be me if I move to LA. I'll be one of those guys.
You could definitely be one of those
working under the table.
Well, I guess
I'll just wear my Wesley outfit, and I'll just be there, and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm Wesley Pennington. You want to get a selfie with me?"
Yeah, well,
$1.
I'm pretty sure we did talk about that guy that he sold it or tried to sell like a comedy CD of him.
Yeah, so Guy got in a fight with this tiny little guy, this tiny little dude. He was like this real skinny, short little dude, trying to sell a comedy CD or DVD of his own comedy,
and it wasn't,
which I watched. I watched it,
and it wasn't like a printed.
No, it was like a home burnt DVD with scribbles all over it. Because he had written his signature on it and stuff like that, and he would he'd be like, "Oh, hey man, what's your name? I'll write your name on the DVD," and then he'd write the name directly on it, and then because he's written your name on it, he's like, you're compelled to buy it, kind of thing.
But yeah,
because it says Guy on it.
Like remember, when you got a 20-pack of the cheapest. I don't even think it was a DVD. I think it was a CD
because I watched it.
Or was it a DVD?
A DVD. I watched it.
Are you sure it wasn't a CD?
No, I watched it. It was a DVD.
Right. But both discs work on a Mac.
Well, no, it was a DVD.
Okay.
It wasn't selling a CD.
But yeah, it was just
1998.
Was not a rewritable CD, just a recordable.
Yeah. So,
but anyway, that's what you'll be doing. But so you decided that you would go over to LA and drop how much money?
Well, when I first looked, I found a flight for like $1,400,
which is pretty reasonable.
That's not bad for return.
Yep.
But then by the time all was said and done, and I actually booked it, it came to just under $1,800.
Right, which is still actually
it's not that bad considering I'm going next month.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a lot of money because accommodation. I was looking at a week in an Airbnb near Hollywood Boulevard, and it was still going to come to like $800. It was pretty much $100 a night, and then there was a few fees and bits and pieces, and that's only half my trip. I'm there for 11 nights.
So are you going to be there for the opening and closing ceremonies this time?
That was my plan,
Nice.
Because I didn't want to go all the way over there. You travel literally halfway around the world. A phenomenon that was not possible to the majority of our ancestors. I'm going to travel halfway around the globe, and what, you're going to come back in a week or a few days? Fuck it. You got to have a bit of time there, right? So I booked 11 days.
Good.
And yeah, I want to be there for the opening party and the closing night party as well.
Yeah, so we made some good contacts over there last time we were there.
Yeah.
Now, this time we're in a lower status than we were last time. And we weren't exactly in a high status there last time.
No, but at least we were there for a feature film.
And now we're here for a short. Now,
An 8-minute short.
as a feature filmmaker, as a short filmmaker, I can tell you that short films are shite.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that the level of skill required to make a short film is fucking completely negligible by comparison to what you have to achieve with a feature.
Yeah, well, it's essentially shooting one scene of a feature and calling your project finished.
And calling yourself a filmmaker.
And calling yourself a filmmaker, yeah. You know?
And so, you know, like, while short films are cool and they're a good kind of showcase, like, to me, anyone that's made, like, shorts and they're like, yeah, I'm the director, blah blah blah, made a bunch of shorts, you know, I don't really take that seriously.
Oh, fucking look at this big shot over here.
Good for you.
Wow. Look at this feature film snob.
Yeah, well,
this guy put out one feature film and now look at him.
Yeah, I'm a big shot. I'm a fucking big shot. I guess what I just go,
well, fuck all of you guys out there that have only ever made shorts.
Fuck you pieces
Alan
of shit.
George,
Alan
Ben Fowler,
George.
fuck you guys.
You guys aren't on my level.
Guy doesn't think you should call yourself a director, Alan.
No, let me rephrase that.
I better quickly rephrase this.
You can call yourself a director, for sure, but I think that, like, until you expose yourself to that, like, level of, you know, like, when you do that feature, you go, you know, what I thought was really hard and difficult about a short film is actually not so hard. And, like, this is a whole new world of pain. And so, you know, there's just a level, you respect people, let's rephrase, you respect people more that have done a feature.
Yeah. And so, as the producer of an 8-minute short film,
how much respect you're going to get?
Fest,
how much respect are you going to get?
Probably not that much.
Yeah.
And when you consider that when we went last time with a feature, we didn't
get much respect.
We weren't poorly treated or anything like that, but we were not the stars of the show by any stretch of the imagination.
If this was a pro wrestling match, we were like the undercard. We were like the first match to get the people warmed up. Like, oh yeah, cool. Now where's the main event?
Yeah, and so
we don't really care about these guys.
The first match that most of the audience doesn't even bother attending. They show up later.
Well, they're just filling in and taking their seats while the match is happening.
Yeah,
that was us.
Yeah.
So you know, but you decided to go.
Yeah. So I did decide to go.
Talk about the mindset. Talk about the decision in your mind.
Well, I mean, there's a few factors here. One, I was like, we need to promote No Caller I.D. if you want people to show up. Like, we went last year for I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, and there was still not that many people in the cinema when we went. And we were there, like, you know, shaking hands and meeting people and saying, oh, yeah, we're screening on this night, come along and see us.
Glad-handing.
If we hadn't been there doing that, there would have been even less people at our screening.
Yeah.
And so for a short film, a short 8-minute film, you know, like, there's going to be fuck all people there if there's not somebody there telling people to come along and check it out.
Well, I have a feeling that I, like, slept in, like, when the shorts were playing.
Yeah,
One night.
I literally did not watch a single short film in Screamfest. I watched some features. I did not watch a single short film.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about with the respect thing, man. It's by degrees here.
Yeah.
You know.
No, but then also, you know, another factor is that my girlfriend has had her green card approved, and she needs to be in Los Angeles in January of 2017. Yeah. And we've been together for nearly 5 years. It's a very serious relationship, best relationship I've ever been in.
Plus, she's a total babe. Which you've got to factor into these things.
This is something to factor in. So she's got to be there, right? And the fact of the matter is she's got to go. I couldn't expect her to stay in New Zealand just for me and to turn down a great opportunity to move to America, which people would literally kill for. And then on top of that, it's closer to her family, and it's very important to her. You know, her parents are getting older. It's important to be around, you know, closer to be able to fly home to Colombia where she's from, and, you know, all the rest of it. It makes sense. It all makes sense. And I couldn't possibly ask her to stay in New Zealand just for me. And I think that would be a recipe for misery as well, like, because eventually down the track she might begin to resent me for for sort of holding her here when she could have gone to America. And if she says no to the green card, she can't just pick it up later. She's got to go through all the process again, which has been a very long, drawn-out process. She's
laborious.
This process has been going since before she met me 5 years ago. So it's a very long, long process to get this card that she's got now. So she has to go. So now the question is, do I let her go or do I try and go with her? Now, if she was moving to Kentucky, well, I probably, I would have to let her go.
Yeah.
Because I can't give up on my dreams and Pigville and my vocation and my 17 years worth of filmmaking and acting and all that for love. I just can't. I can't justify that.
Love's bullshit, man.
Well, I'd be heartbroken, but I can't justify that in my mind. But as it happens, she's moving to Los Angeles, which is where I would ultimately, as a performer, in a dream scenario, end up anyway, right? And so it all just lined up. And I don't have kids, I don't have a mortgage or anything like that. Anything really holding me here. The only thing holding me to New Zealand, aside from my my mum and sister and brother, is
family shit.
So aside from family, is Pigville.
Yeah.
Is Pigville, but Pigville has lived in separate cities in the past, and the trick was we filmed things, and then either you would fly over and we'd film something, or I'd fly back and we'd film something, and then it goes into post production, which you kind of mostly handle anyway, and all the online promotion stuff I can do from anywhere in the world.
Yep.
So we can still work, and it wouldn't be a permanent thing anyway. The visa I'm going for is for a maximum of 3 years. We did 3 years. Guy was in Dunedin for 3 years when I was in Wellington, and so. Anyway, all of that combined, I was like, well, this is my time. This is my time to go over. And so my line of thinking for next month, so my plan is to go in December 2017. So that's quite a wee way away. That's when I would move to LA. But for now, it's like, well, next month is Screenfest. I'm trying to go over there anyway. Part of my immigration thing is that I need to prove I'm this alien of extraordinary talent that, they want to give this visa to so that I can go over there as a performer. And so I was like, well, I need to go over there, do some networking, meet with an American agent, meet with American filmmakers that are willing to vouch for me and say that they would cast me if I was over there and that type of thing, which are these filmmakers I'm going to hit up that we met at Screamfest. And so, I was like, all right, connect all the dots. I can turn this into a completely productive work to LA.
Yep.
And I'm going solo, riding solo. So, it's going to be a cool adventure.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to do it as well, but I just can't. And I could do it, but I just can't. I'm just trying to dig myself out of debt.
Yeah.
And I can't be digging myself back into debt.
Yeah. Well, this is all getting slapped on the credit card, by the way. I'm not just like, just whip it out of the bank. Oh, here's my money for LA. I'm going to drop $3,000 by the time I've done accommodation and all that stuff. It is all slapped on the credit card, which is a real shit because I'm trying to save money to move to LA one day, and I'm dropping all this cash, but, well, not even my cash, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I would consider it quite seriously if I had the next project lined up. As in if
something you can
written.
pitch.
Yeah. So I'd written like the next feature screenplay. I'm like, so this is what I want to do next. Producers, whoever, are you interested?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. But like just to go over there and go, so check out my short. It's not as good as a feature, obviously.
Well, you can point out that you've got a second feature coming out soon.
But also, that's the other thing. But it's not
a horror.
If that was a horror, that would be another reason for me to go. But because it's not a horror, there's a low level of interest.
Yeah.
But the final thing I will say about doing a feature versus doing a short, it is hard to do any type of filmmaking and make it good. It's really hard. But I feel like, a short film is a skirmish, right? You come out of there, you're bloody, you're bruised, but, all good. You'll live to fight another day. Feature film is a war, and, lives are lost. There's a huge toll on the people involved that they may never recover from. PTSD. So that's really the difference between a feature and a short.
It's a pretty good analogy. I'm on board with that analogy.
Yeah.
Did you make that up? Or did you steal
I just
that?
thought of that.
It's not bad. Write it down.
Just thought of it.
Jot it down.
That's in the podcast now. It's forever in the iTunes archive. So it's all good.
Now, Patreon, right? I mentioned last week that Bill Tucker was one of our patrons and he had bought the DVD, the I Survived a Zombie Holocaust DVD. I fucked up. It wasn't Bill Tucker. Bill Tucker did buy the DVD, I think, but it wasn't him that became a Patreon patron. It was Ben Wilson.
Ben.
So Ben Wilson, sorry about that.
Sorry about that confusion.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much. Thanks to Ben and our other patrons, we have $12 per video that we put out, pledged to us. So that's awesome.
Well, I'll just say a quick couple of things. One, I listened to the Guy and Harley podcast, episode 5, the other day.
Oh, yeah? Just delving into the archives?
Well, basically what happened is I had my iPod on, and it was on at the end of a playlist for some reason, and I just kind of started listening, and I was like, fuck, this is really good.
Really?
I was like, this is good shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember. I don't really remember, but now I've been So on that episode, we talk about our top 5 horror films.
Yeah.
But it's a good episode. I highly recommend, if you're a new listener, you go back and listen to that one. Well, that's a gem. And I also thought it made me think. So if because our picks were amazing and our breakdown was very 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 well done. So if anyone wants us to do another top 5 of our favorite some type of genre, let us know.
Let us know in the comments below. Send us a message, facebook.com/Guy and Harley.
And we will happily make some movie picks and talk about those. Also, I should also mention, because we've completely forgotten to mention this anymore, but it's actually still really important to do. Write us a 5-star review in iTunes. Now, we've only got 3 of those at the moment. We're hanging in there dearly with 3. Which were written about a year ago.
One of them was me.
And I keep forgetting to talk about this, but if you like the podcast, if you're one of the Filthy 50 or whatever that...
that's it, Filthy 50.
If you're one of the Filthy 50, you do enjoy it, then please go on to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. It doesn't have to be an in-depth review where you really break it down. You could just say, I really love this podcast. You should check it out if you like these things, or good plus sign. That's fine. Just make sure it's 5 stars, because the algorithms, the 5 stars brings us all up. More people will see it. More people will be listening. The Filthy 50 will become
the Filthy 500.
Yeah, that's good. I was going to say the Filthy 100.
Right? No, you got to alliteration, mate. Alliteration. Yeah. Filthy 500.
Or the hardcore 100.
Yeah. The Hardy Hundy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hard 100.
Well, speaking of the Hardy Hundy, speaking of going back into the archives, Charles Black and Tyler Adams have both been going back through the YouTube videos, much like you just mentioned, and getting all caught up. And they've basically started at the beginning and they're working their way through chronologically.
Well, let us apologize for the beginning.
And so Charles Black actually had something to say about last week's episode.
Yeah.
Episode 78, about us having trouble with my neighbor. He said, you guys both should have apologized right off the bat. And this is when we had trouble with our neighbor for filming at his house.
Yeah.
But then he is on our side. He says, there's nothing more the cunt could say. If he said more, you could simply say, look, I already apologized. Sorry.
Yeah. That's true.
And that would work, 99% of the time.
We did, perhaps maybe we would have diffused the situation if we'd said... We did say sorry in that conversation, I'm pretty sure. Well, but it was after
we said in the episode that we didn't say sorry.
Well, maybe we didn't. Maybe we didn't at all.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah. It's hard to say sorry.
I feel like I was kind of like, well, yeah, sorry about that. But that was sort of about 5 minutes into the conversation where we'd brought up a whole bunch of excuses of why we did it.
Yeah.
As opposed to the initial, look, sorry about that. I guess when you get called not cool, you want to say, well, hey, no, don't say this ain't cool.
You don't know me. You don't know what happened.
You don't know what's not cool.
I'm a cool dude.
You don't know how long I've been working on this motherfucking film for.
Yeah. If you knew why we were in your house, you'd be fucking stoked, man.
If you knew.
Stoked to be involved in the production of Older.
About the pain that this film has put us through, you would just be like, fair enough, you're just trying to get it done, bro. But anyway, that's a good point, Charles.
Also, Tyler Adams.
Yeah.
He said he actually commented on the same episode. He commented, "I like how the ad that opens this episode." So on YouTube, they've got ads at the beginning. I like how the ad that opens this episode is for Grindr.
Right.
Right now, the thing is, and I replied as such. The thing is about the YouTube ads is they're personalized to you. You know, so I've never seen a Grindr ad on YouTube.
Yep.
I'm just saying. So
that's true, Tyler.
Just let that sink in, Tyler.
Some of those
just
searches, some of those searches you may have made. Well, we should actually give a shout out to Tyler Adams because he was one of the visual effects artists on the zombie film, and
he's been sharing bits and pieces too.
And we can quite conclusively say that the zombie film certainly would not be as good, but certainly might not even be finished if it wasn't for his work that he did on it. And he did some really amazing stuff on it. There's one of my favorite shots is there's a shot of a pig's head with maggots and flies buzzing around it. There were no maggots, there were no flies. He added those and it looked great. And I was like, that looks like we actually put those on, which was the whole thing, because what we actually did was like put some like rice or something
yeah.
And they're like, yeah, those are the maggots, and I was like, what?
It looks like dinner.
It looks like there's some rice on the pig's head. That's not a maggot. So you always have this issue. Sometimes you get to set and you go, okay, here's the script, this is what the script says. There's maggots and flies buzzing around. That's what the script says. Okay, so now the production designer has to go, okay, I need maggots, I need flies.
Yeah.
Right? But then they don't say that. They go, we can't get maggots. Don't have flies. It will take too long to attract the flies. There'll be no flies, and the maggots will be rice. When are we going to tell Guy this? We'll tell him when he set up the shot, and we put the pig's head there. Why? Well, because if we tell him then, there's nothing he can do.
Yeah. To fix it, we can just get on with the fucking movie.
Like, if we tell him then, he can't make us try and do the maggots and the flies, which undoubtedly he will do if he finds out about this earlier than 1 minute before shooting.
Yeah.
And I definitely got that quite a lot on that set.
Well, that's right, because Tyler Adams is here to save the day.
And so Tyler did. I love that shot. He did a lot of other great work in it. And so thank you very much, Tyler. Thank you for all your time and effort you put in.
I'll tell you something else awesome that Tyler is doing is he's commenting as he goes watching through the videos, right? But he's also commenting multiple comments on the same episode as he listens. So it's almost like live tweeting kind of thing, except for he's live commenting as he listens, as he goes through. So like on the episode 54, Sexy Man Feet, he had like 4 comments, referring to things within the episode, and that's awesome. That's great for our stats, and it's great for YouTube, and it's great for we really win. So thanks for that, Tyler.
But yeah, what else you got?
Well, I did actually want to read another comment from Charles Black.
Okay.
This was on Santa's Big Red Sack, episode 49.
Okay.
And we in that episode we discussed whether we would rather be raped and then killed or killed and then raped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Important stuff.
I don't even remember that conversation.
Don't worry about it. But anyway, Charles Black commented, "I'd rather be raped first, killed second, because I would do a great job getting raped, so he'd want to keep me alive, maybe." Interesting theory, hey, Charles.
That is kind of a good idea. If you
just do a good job,
and then they're like, "Oh, look, maybe I'll keep him around to further rape him later."
Yeah.
This guy's pretty good. Maybe I'll just keep him down the basement,
and then you can escape later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. That's very true.
We have had... Oh, no, you go. All right.
I don't really have anything...
what do you mean you don't have anything? It's been like 2 weeks since we recorded anything.
Well, I mean, I'm back finally editing older, which is a fucking godsend to my personal well-being state of mind. I finally got a chance this week. I knuckled down and cut sort of the first 25 minutes of the next cut, which is really good, and it felt good to put in like some of the pickups that we filmed as well. recently. So that was really good. I'm sort of, my goal is to have that second cut done by the end of this month. That's what I really want to happen. I'm not sure if it will, but that's what I'm aiming for. So we can show this producer guy who's big on the trailer, who wants to see the sort of what was the total outcome, some of the parts of that one. So that's what I'm working towards. Saw a couple of films.
Yeah,
Film review time.
We didn't mention that after episode 78, when we were recording in the car, we said we were going to go to a movie.
We did.
And we did actually go to that movie, The Train to Busan.
Yeah, or Busan.
Busan, The Train to Busan.
Yeah, so a Korean film. Now, this is obviously the first film that Harley's seen this year.
That's not
maybe at the cinema it might be. Is that true? No, we saw Neighbours because we got a free pass to it.
Bad Neighbours 2.
Yeah. Second film we've seen.
Didn't I also Hunt for the Wilder People? That was this year.
Oh yeah,
I saw that world premiere. Boom, boom. Big deal.
Big shot.
Green carpet premiere.
Well, we should talk about that because that's a zombie film, and it was pretty good.
Train to Busan.
Yeah, Train to Busan. It was good. It was basically about a train. Zombies come on the train, but there's still people who aren't zombies.
It was about an outbreak of zombies that occurs as a family travels
to
Busan on a high-powered bullet train, a high-speed bullet train. But of course, there might be some contamination on board.
Yeah.
And it's sort of set. That's the setting, as these people try and survive a train, and obviously a train is a very restrictive environment physically. So can you imagine fighting zombies on a train that you cannot get off?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It was kind of a little similar in a way to the science fiction film called Snowpiercer, which is a kind of about a speeding train, but it's science fiction, and this train is sustaining all human life. They're a little bit different, but it did remind me of that a little bit. But I thought it was definitely, if you're a zombie fan, totally worth a watch. Had some pretty good stuff. Not much gore.
No, that was, for me, that was a bit of a letdown. It's a zombie film, and a lot of the gore was sort of implied gore. Pretty much all of the gore was implied gore. There was very little gore. But, I don't care that much. It's kind of like the whole CGI thing, that I don't really care about watching buildings explode and stuff like that. I don't have to see gore if the story's good. But I do feel like if it had that little bit of extra gore, it actually would have made a bit of a difference to me. It was a good film, but it would have been slightly better with a bit more, you are, at the end of the day, it's a zombie film. And you are seeing people chop people up and stuff like that. Well, theoretically, but of course you don't see any of that stuff. And it just felt like that made it a little bit lacking. But I can see why they did it too, because probably they, as a result of not having any gore in that film, they could probably actually get away with having a much lower PG rating, and as a result, at the end of the
more people see it,
and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about dollars in the bank, and so they could have had some gore in there and made less money and spent more effort trying to shoot those gore shots, and time and effort and money trying to create that, and then made less money as a result, but kept the likes of me happy. Or they can,
who doesn't go to the cinema to see things,
who doesn't go hardly ever anyway. Or they can pander to a wider market and make way more money and do less effort on that stuff.
Also, think
it's business.
Yeah, and I also think another good aspect of it, and this is just the key to every great horror film: characters. It was all about characters. You knew about the main dude, you knew about his daughter, you knew you knew their scenario before shit starts going wrong, and you were invested in them because you knew about them. And the classic horror trope is, it's just a bunch of young kids just show up somewhere and all get killed, and no one gives a fuck.
Like The Muck.
No one will ever give a fuck about
The Muck.
Or, which I'm assuming I haven't checked for The Muck 2 recently, which apparently is shot. So
long-time listeners will know that Guy had an irate rant about The Muck.
Well, that's the problem. I think that everyone that makes a horror film goes, it's about the scares and it's about the violence, or it's about this or that, and it's no, it's about the characters that these things are happening to. because when you have those characters that you care about, all of that means something. But to an anonymous person or an annoying teen getting killed, you're like, good. I'm glad you died.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up because you were so annoying. And
The only thing I'm sad about is I'm not going to see them titties anymore.
That's was Harley's assessment.
Well, I'm just saying, like, sometimes in, like, shitty movies,
Yeah.
poorly formed films, that's what I'm saying.
But
it's not a sexist thing. It's not this. I'm not part of the patriarchy.
Kissing girls too hot for you and wishing to see titties of annoying characters on screen.
Yeah. No, I'm a cliche, man. I'm what's wrong with the world, man. I'm what's wrong with the world.
But it was a good film. So definitely, if you like zombie films, well worth a watch. And I also watched another film, quick film review called The Blair Witch.
I've heard of that one.
But it's not The Blair Witch Project. It's the sequel, The Blair Witch.
You mean it's the third sequel?
It is. And this is something that kind of irritates me about sequels now, is that when you're trying to make a real serious sequel, that you're saying, nah, you know how most sequels are shit? Well, our one isn't. So instead of going Blair Witch 3 or Blair Witch 2 or Blair Witch 4, you go, you know how the first one was called The Blair Witch Project? We'll just call this one The Blair Witch. And it's kind of like, so people don't know that there was like two other shit ones before this. It was like the same with like Rocky 6. They didn't call it Rocky 6. Rocky Balboa, baby. It's just Rocky Balboa. Same with Rambo 4, I think. Wasn't called Rambo 4. I think it was just called John Rambo or something like that.
I think that's a good idea.
Well, it is a good idea, but it is also kind of like, come on, guys, who the fuck are you fooling?
Well,
here?
they're fooling a lot of stupid people.
Oh, that's true.
the point.
Yeah.
Like, you got to remember that they're not aiming this stuff at the likes of you and me.
Yeah.
They're aiming at dumb people, the aforementioned dumb people that go out drinking all night on the weekend.
Those fucking young dummies.
Those young, enthusiastic, youthful people that will fucking buy anything. That's who they're aiming at, and there's a lot of money to be made for pandering to, various markets.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. It's just marketing, man.
Just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. But anyway, so I saw that.
Happiness machines, bro.
It was good. It was a very good sequel. And I guess that's the thing. The thing about the Blair Witch was, at that time, you had never seen anything like the Blair Witch. You're like, what? Like, it's all
found footage.
Yeah.
And the marketing was so good. Like, so is it real or not? Is it real or not? Because, there was all this documentary stuff that supported it. And you're like, what? Is it? So hang
like
on.
a website.
Is this a real thing? Or is this, what's going on here? I've never.
And you're like, what?
It's not just a horror movie. This is actually a real thing.
And then you're like,
it really was a Blair Witch.
There was a Blair Witch. They existed. No, the whole thing is true. It wasn't true.
Just a genius of marketing.
And it was amazing marketing, but it was also just like, I've never seen everything from a first-person perspective for the whole thing. I've never seen that in a film. They invented
found footage.
They invented found footage. They invented a new filmmaking language from which many other films then ripped off,
including ours to a degree.
Including ours. There's a little found footage tribute in ours, but also. And I think there's some great ones that came along after that as a result of that. We're all much better off.
Rick, for example.
Exactly. That's really what
Rick was really good.
That's what I was thinking about. And so...
Yeah, that was it, really.
That was the main one.
Because there was also that
Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't see Cloverfield Lane. The original.
Yeah.
I saw the original Cloverfield.
Yeah, that Cloverfield.
Yeah. That one that pissed me off more than anything.
It wasn't great. But, so... When you see that again, because essentially they're not doing a not found footage one, there is some element that you're kind of like, well, I know.
So hang on, this new Blair Witch, is it found footage?
Yeah, it's found footage. So basically what's happened is 15 years ago, Blair Witch, right? Now, 15 years later, new footage found. In 2014, this is the footage found. And obviously, they've got a bigger budget. They have, they can do more things with the sound. There's a They all have cameras, and also they even introduce a drone element.
So it's set in 2014.
Yeah.
Right.
And which is kind of cool to sort of update the technology.
Do you know what I think would have been cool, though? Would be if they had found more footage from the original Blair Witch, and it was like set in the 90s or whatever, or the early 2000s.
That's kind of how the film does start, with them finding some footage that is supposedly footage from
the original.
Yeah. And then, going into it. And it's good they expand the mythology of the Blair Witch. There's lots of quite freaky, scary moments. For me, I wasn't as scared this time around because,
I wasn't 14.
Well, also, it's all about, like, filmmaking is magic tricks, right? You do a magic trick once and you go, whoa, shit, you blew my mind there. You show me a magic trick twice and you go, I kind of see how you did that. It's not quite the same, and so that
Another good analogy. Write that down. Did you make that up?
I did make that up.
It's not bad. Write that down. Yep. 2 good analogies this episode.
2 good analogies. I'm on fire.
You're on fucking fire.
And so I often think that, and I also, like, you kind of get that sense sometimes with directors as they go on, is like you watch their first films or first couple of films, you go, fuck yeah, this is amazing, and then you kind of see what makes them tick through the rest of their films, which is the same, and you go, yeah, you did that. I know that trope. I mean, good example is
that dude that always does films with Johnny Depp and that chick,
Tim Burton,
Helena Bottom Carter.
Yeah, sort of, definitely. But also, oh shit, The Love Guru. Remember The Love Guru?
No. Oh yeah,
Mike Myers.
I didn't bother watching it because it looked like such a bad knockoff of those earlier films.
Terrible film.
Yeah,
but you definitely see like how his comedic.
You can't face.
Yeah,
it's something you can't face.
Yeah, you see how his comedic mind works, like what he likes and wordplay and stuff like that. And it's not a good film. It sucks compared to Austin Powers, but you can kind of see. You go, oh, you showed me those. Show me those cards already. Now I'm picking them, straight off the bat, and that's not good. So it was a good film, Blair Witch I'm talking about. If you like found footage stuff and you enjoy shitting your pants, these 2 things will go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So that's my review.
Oh, good. I very much doubt I'll go see that. There are a few exciting films coming out. There's one coming out. I think it might even be like Mel Gibson directing, or maybe it's not Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Heartbreak Ridge or something like that.
Yeah. So there's a few good war films coming out and sci-fi films coming out. That's Heartbreak Ridge or
something like that.
Yeah. So that's a war film.
That's about a pacifist.
Yeah.
Who's drafted into the army and then refuses to carry a gun.
Yeah.
So he just walks into battle and like basically gives people a pat on the back.
Yeah.
And is like, do you want some of my lunch?
Yeah.
I've got a bit of extra lunch here because I could carry more lunch because I'm not carrying a gun.
Yeah.
And they go, thank you. So that's what the movie's about.
Right.
You're looking forward to that.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. There's also another one. I think it's like Normandy. No, not Normandy. What is it? There's a famous retreat from World War One where everybody the Allies got pushed back to the beach, and I can't remember the name of it right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's about that, and that's coming out soon as well.
War nerd.
And then there's a few sci-fis as well,
right.
That I want to check out as well. So there is some exciting cinema coming.
Yep. Snowden also. Looks quite good.
I watched the documentary on Snowden and
Citizen 4 or 5 or whatever it was.
Yeah, must have been.
Yeah.
And it was fucking amazing. Before he went public, he was filming. He was filming before he went public. He was filming himself in the hotel room and all of that stuff. There's all this footage of him as he went public with all of this stuff when he was still anonymous, when nobody knew who he was. It's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And Angie fell in love with him. He's actually quite handsome. He's actually quite a handsome man. You don't really think about it until you see him doing his hair in the mirror, and then I think that was the moment that really bought Angie.
Yeah.
And just the way he talks and everything. He's actually a very handsome fellow,
and he's smart
and very smart, obviously.
Yeah.
And a hero.
And a hero to many.
To boot.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I look forward to 20 years' time where he's given his pardon. Just it's a shame it's going to take 20 years.
Yeah, he's looking forward to that too.
Yeah, he's looking forward to not living in Russia anymore.
Yeah.
In a fucking communist country where he basically is probably like has one piece of bread per day, and he's actually probably taken care of.
I think he's doing.
He's
fine.
well taken care of.
I think he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Now you got to go. What's your deal?
Well, we've got to go pretty soon. We could probably fit in one more topic.
Well, look, we're barely even touching on.
What about the troll?
Okay, so troll hole. It is time for our favourite segment, the troll hole. Now we haven't had a troll hole for a while.
No, we haven't.
Summoner Void. This is on YouTube. Summoner Void commented on one of our episodes of the podcast. The podcast is
really
unpopular.
Was really eliciting reactions from people though.
It is eliciting reactions, but the problem is that
Not good reactions.
The reaction is a thumb down.
Yeah.
You know, so we've got heaps of thumbs down on the YouTube version of the video. So if you guys are out there watching, please always remember to hit thumbs up on the YouTube version of this, because you know they've all got like basically most of them are like 10 thumbs up, 10 thumbs down, and I personally have access to about 6 YouTube accounts.
So you do the maths.
So you do the maths on that one. So anyway, Summoner Void says, I like how you stole the quote from Egon from Ghostbusters about the molecules exploding at the speed of light, along with all the other stolen quotes in their real original. Stealing someone else's work. You can't even think of your own quotes. Lol. Whoa.
That's a really funny comment because obviously those quotes are, yes, stolen or
Sampled, as I pointed out in reply.
But also, like, the whole point of that intro, that opening intro, is like, here is some stuff that I'm into. Like, here is some stuff that we've now compiled to kind of tell the story of this podcast. You know, we're not in any way saying that these are our quotes that we thought up. Clearly, by using those quotes, like, if it was us saying them,
yeah,
and then it just
pretending it was that we thought of them,
yeah, then that would be exactly what you're talking about. But you fucking numbnuts, you idiots. That's the whole point. Is we're saying, look, here's the stuff we like. Here you go. This sums up our podcast. How can you not comprehend that, you dumb shit?
Yeah.
Like, how is this beyond you, lol? Like, what is the fucking matter with you? Also, have you never heard, like, this is not like a new thing. People are doing this all the time as intros to their podcast, where they will play bits of stuff they like that then, you know, the sum total becomes, you know, describing the podcast. This is not new. This has been going on radio for like 50 years. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, this guy's clearly fucking a bit special, and this is what I pointed out to him. I said, well, no, I mean, it's sampling.
Yep.
All your favorite artists do it. You know, like you're just taking a little bit of something else and turning it into something else, you know? And then he was like, no way, all my favorite artists are way more original.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. And then so then all of a sudden, right? Yeah. So that happened, and then overnight, a whole bunch of our videos got 10 thumbs down from 10 different accounts. And I know it's 10 because it also happened on my new YouTube channel, which really fucked me off. The Skeptical Poet.
Ruining your poetry vids.
Exactly, my poetry videos. The Skeptical Poet. I've only got like 5 uploads, right? And all of a sudden, all 5 of them had exactly 10 thumbs down, where they did have 0, you know? And
this is the problem when you go to war with a troll.
Exactly. So, you know, and all it takes to do that is to have access to 10 different accounts. All you need is 10 email addresses, and you've got that's the equivalent nowadays of 10 YouTube accounts. Because, you know, I mean, I've got one for my work, I've got access to your one, I've got my personal one, I've got the Pigville one, I've got like some other like two other ones, you know, like that are like I've got 2 other work related ones as well. So you just need any email address, and if it's Gmail, you've instantly got a YouTube, and if it's not Gmail, you can set up a YouTube, and then you can just easily swap between accounts as well. So that it's not heard of that this guy would have 10 accounts.
No.
I mean, I've got 6, and I'm not even trying. And so anyway, he went through and fucking shit on all of my videos, on a whole bunch of our Pigville videos, a whole bunch of these podcasts, and all 5 of my videos on the Skeptical Poet, which really fucked me off, because as a general rule, when people are on YouTube, you know, like, you might get 1,000 viewers and you might have 4 thumbs up. You know, because generally speaking, if you're gonna hit thumbs up, you have to really love it.
Yeah.
Whereas you only have to find one small fault with it to thumb it down. So as a general rule, you know, thumbing down is the norm. And then on top of that, thumbing down gives these little fucking troll fucks, you know, a little boner, you know, like a little, I've got some power.
Yeah.
Oh, here I am, sitting in my room, and I'm going to thumb this down. I shot my load on the keyboard again.
I'm making a difference in the world, and this is my contribution to it.
And you know what fucks me off the most is they always, without a doubt, have 0 uploads.
Yeah.
You know, they just have an account just to go around shitting on other people. That's just what they do.
That's
you know?
just their thing.
It's just their thing.
It's the
fucking dickhead.
It's the price. It's the price of fame, my friend.
Well, it is. It is the price of fame. But what it means is that if our listeners want to help us, it actually is really important that you hit thumbs up when you watch our videos. It actually does make a big difference to the algorithms and all the rest of it. And now I'm sort of going into damage control and trying to thumb up everything and trying to block his accounts. And you know, it's a full-on fucking war out there, man. It's fucking Hamburger Hill.
Talking about a skirmish that turned into a war.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, so I don't know what his 10 accounts are, which means that I've blocked some of the ones that I've blocked him, and I've blocked a few other ones that I suspect are him, you know, but, you know, I can't fully figure out which ones, if they're all him, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you're out there listening, please do hit thumbs up, and go to the Skeptical Poet and hit thumbs up on all 5 videos too. That would actually kind of make my day.
Yeah. So what didn't he have a video upload?
Yeah. So there was another troll.
Okay.
Right? There was another troll.
So that was just the first troll.
So that was just the first troll. Now I can't actually. The problem is I can't actually. So it was. I didn't take a picture of it, but another guy who I sent you the video of. Is that still open? Just there? Have you got that there? The guy that I sent. So another guy looked up another one of our episodes of the podcast called Never Settle for a Used Dildo. Now, Dismal Bebop, that was his name, Dismal Bebop, and he looked up a video of ours called Never Settle for a Used Dildo, and it was the thumbnail is you and I in Sydney next to the Opera House, and we're kind of doing the Rose and Jack Titanic pose, you know, over the handrail, and this guy commented, no wonder this video's got so many eggs holding hands for the thumbnail, and I was like, well, hold up, bro, you're the one looking up used dildo videos on YouTube and calling us fags. What's the problem? Yeah, what are you up to? You know,
what did he reply to that?
Well, that it could be him that gave the 10 thumbs down.
Right.
You know, like
so we don't know.
We don't know
how many trolls we've angered.
Exactly, we don't know how many trolls we've angered.
As a tribute to this guy, because he does have an upload. Yeah. Right?
Now, this creepy upload, which you are, I guess, going to hear a little bit of?
Yeah, we're going to play a little clip of that now. This is him breaking down him masturbating.
About masturbating is that I've used ketchup, butter, petroleum jelly, shaving cream, spit, KY jelly, aloe vera. Oh man, there's a few other things, but I remember this is amazing to actually hear, but the best form of thing to jack off with isn't petroleum jelly or KY jelly. It's fucking table butter. Table butter. Like when I was in the hospital with my leg broken, there was nothing, like they brought me a meal and they always had this little 3 packets of table butter that came with the meal. And I'd be like, okay, hell yeah. Because that shit, table butter, those table butters that they would give you in the hospital were such good jack-off cream. and it always smelled like biscuits. Like, it smelled really good, too. And I was always just like, oh, man, I hope the waitress isn't like, it smells like biscuits in here. I know what that means. Like, one of them bitches that'd be working there for a while. She'd probably be like, you're doing the right thing as a healthy young male. She said that. You're doing the right thing as a healthy young male. It's probably what she was thinking. Because jacking off with butter actually has a smell to it. Have you ever jacked off with table butter?
So that was his contribution
to the world,
to YouTube, right? Here's this guy going around shitting on our stuff.
Thumbs down.
Meanwhile, this is the content that he thinks is appropriate. This is what he thinks is good.
Lube tips.
Lube tips.
Tips on how he jerks off.
Now, look, to be fair, jerking off with butter, that is quite nice. And it does have very low melting body temperature.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, it's not without its merits.
Yeah.
That one thumbs down that it's got, by the way, that's from me.
Right. But this is what we're up against. This, people. This guy is the type of person we're up against when we're putting up content and we're trying to fight the good fight. This kind of creeper, you know, this is the very definition of the guy in his basement masturbating furiously and kind of weird and perverted and has a lot of problems. You know, like why? You know,
well, the scary thing is you can never reason with a man like that.
No, you can't.
You know?
This guy uses table butter to jerk off with. You can't reason with a guy like that.
No, he's clearly
in the
insane.
Hospital with the nurses.
Yeah, he's definitely insane.
You cannot reason with a man like this. You know, so, you know, a comment to a comment will get you 10 of his thumbs down in between his masturbation sessions, which seem to be very numerous.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and that's just the internet, folks. This is the internet. This is the world we live in.
This is the world we live in. All right, well, look, I guess we better wrap it up.
Yeah.
Very brief poetry update. I entered a slam poetry competition, won my heat. And it was the same poetry competition that I entered last year and came last in.
Yeah.
Not only did I come last year, but both of my poems and both of their heats came last. So I was dead last. This year, boom, first. Nailed it. Took it out. Number 1 position. I won a $50 book voucher and a poetry book. I haven't looked at that book yet. I went to the finals. There was a way bigger audience than I thought. It was probably about 250 people.
Which is a lot.
Yep. And it went really well, and I totally nailed it. Like, I couldn't have done any better. The audience was all on board. They're hanging off my every word. I was up on a proper stage as well, like a big sort of performance theatre stage sort of thing.
What poem did you do?
I did Dope New Shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was the one that I won with. So, you know, they say to do that one and then have a second one prepped. And I was, if you need the second one prepped if you make it to the top 5.
Yeah.
And so I was so certain that I was going to make it to the top 5 that, you know, I was being all humble, you know, I was like, you know, well, not really, but, you know, I was being like... No, but you know,
you're not particularly, but
not particularly humble. But you know, I was being like, oh yeah, hopefully I make the top 5. But in my mind, I was like, all right, so practicing my poem. I was like, I was already practicing my poem because I was like, obviously I'm going to be in the top 5. Then they announced the top 5, not in the top 5. Did not make the top 5.
Now, in your expert analysis, maybe somewhat biased, but. Were you in the top 5, really?
Look, in all seriousness, now it is important that I don't come across as a sore loser.
Like how, or you know, me, where I said that all other filmmakers were shit abandoned a feature film.
Guy just alienated our entire fan base, our entire following. No,
war and a skirmish, people. That's all I'm saying.
So, no. It is important that I don't come across as a sore loser. But I should have won that fucking poetry competition, man.
You cunts. You hear that? You cunts.
No. Like, maybe not one, but I certainly should have been in the top 5. And I think what it comes down to is that my poetry is a little bit too different to what the other people are doing. So it's not that poetic, you know, like what I'm doing I'm not up there like using like complicated analogies. I'm not going through analogies like condoms at a gangbang. you know, I'm kind of just doing these rants that rhyme, and kind of getting up there and having an opinion. And I'm doing a performance too. I take the mic off the stand and I kind of walk around, and kind of, it's more of a show. It's more of a monologue that rhymes and rants about shit that I care about, as opposed to being like this type of slam poetry, which is, you know,
shite.
That's not what I was going to say, but I do think that there is one problem with slam poetry, and the listeners can go and check this out. Right, if you go onto YouTube right now and Google spoken word poetry, you'll find the first one and watch it. Okay, and you'll go, oh, okay, that was really powerful. Wow, I can't believe her daddy touched her. Oh, wow, that was really important. Oh, geez, that was really powerful. You listen to 6 more, you know, and there was like 16 people at my competition. You know, you listen to like 6 more, you know, and you kind of go, oh, okay, they're actually all talking about these very serious topics, and you realize it's a formula. It's a fucking formula. What they do is they take a very evocative sort of topic and go, okay, so it's like rape. It's like, it's rape, it's homophobia, it's feminism, it's domestic violence, you know, all of these types of very powerful sort of topics, and that's fine. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be able to talk about that stuff, because I think it's great. I think it's great that people have this platform where they can talk about that stuff. But eventually, after, you know, watching 10 poems of it, you kind of go, oh, okay, I see now what you're doing. You're choosing this evocative topic, and then you're concentrating on it in order to get a reaction, and you're pandering to what you think the audience wants.
So essentially what you're saying, Harley, is you've seen the magic trick.
Well, I have seen the magic trick, and I've seen the other magic trick too, which is that they get into this kind of this cadence after a little while, where they're like, and I just kind of zone out, and it's like, and you did this to me, and we went this way, and now I feel like this thing,
right.
and it kind of just goes on like that for a while, and then they get to the serious part of the poem, and it's serious because their voice begins to quiver a little bit, and it's like, fuck, I've seen this trick, like, and so I feel like basically what I'm saying is what I'm doing is too fresh.
Yep. You're too far ahead of your time.
Exactly, which is why that I'll win the 2017 one. Now, I am actually in another one, though, on the 28th of this month. I'm in the finals for another slam poetry competition, and if I win that one or come second, I go to the Nationals in Hamilton. I just cannot avoid Hamilton. It's my new... There's a lot happening in Hamilton.
Why in sweet God is the National... Like, in Hamilton?
Because I think that Hamilton has a thriving slam poetry scene.
Right.
And I think that Hamilton has actually got a lot going on that we just don't know about up and out here with our Auckland snobbery.
Yeah.
We just don't even know about it. But there's actually a lot happening in Hamilton, creatively, somehow, in amongst all those miles and miles of flat feces-infested farmland. And like stinky rivers and shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding Hamilton. I do love you.
Well, you'll be loving it a lot more when you head there.
I do love it, the fact that, we've been there for I've been there for quite a few things now, creative, cool things. It's like, oh, actually, this is actually quite a lot happening here. So good for you, Hamilton.
Good for you.
Speaking of which, we all had a whole bunch of auditions, and Guy and I showed up at the same audition for a large Mick brand, and it looks like neither of us got the audition.
That's true. Although it would have been funny if we were both in that audition.
Yeah, the Pigville.
Both in we'd done essentially a Pigville ad unintentionally because we'd just both been cast in the ad. In different roles.
Yeah. Now I think we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Because we've got to wrap up. But I would like to delve into that whole that particular audition and that brand and all of that. But we better wait until after we've heard for sure that we don't have it.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Good night. You've been listening to the Guy and Harley podcast, proudly brought to you by Pigville Productions.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.